So as I was saying, we've thanked our volunteers. We want to make sure that you guys all feel so great for coming out because it's worth it. You guys really are, I can't tell you how happy I am with you. I also, because we are now live streaming, I want to point something out. And other organizers in the PPC, by the way, my name is Ethan Erkelishan. I'm a regional organizer. I might have wanted to mention that. Other organizers in the PPC may tell you that that Ethan guy, he can get a little bit annoying when he talks about the campus clubs. And the reason is because we had the very first campus club in Canada for the People's Party of Canada at the University of Saskatchewan. There are a gaggle of them around the room. These are great students, great young people who do a lot of incredible work. I am so proud of them. I'm so proud we had the very first one in Canada. Please give our campus club a round of applause. They absolutely deserve it. They do such incredible work. And they're a lot of fun to chat with as well around the fire. Good stuff. So, also, I wanted to point out my counterpart in southern Saskatchewan, Nigel Sharp. He's sitting right there. Please, Nigel, give it stand up. Nigel has done amazing work. All of southern Saskatchewan is going to be organized into EDAs by December 1st, right? Yes, December 1st. So all of southern Saskatchewan is done. We've got 2 nuts to crack yet in Saskatchewan, but we're almost there. Nigel, good job. And also I wanted to mention that what we do as regional organizers is impossible without a motivated, energetic, principled membership that absolutely is in love with speaking truth to power. And that's everybody. Well, absolutely yes. You guys are an amazing force. I can tell you, in the years that I've been on and off involved in politics, I cannot recall having seen something with the energy that this movement has. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch a membership with energetic, principled, motivated people. Absolutely wonderful. You guys are fantastic. Before we move on to the main event, as I mentioned, I want to say a couple of words. First off, that we come from a lot of different walks of life. As I've traveled around the province and talked to a lot of people, I've noticed we come from different political backgrounds, whether it's liberals or conservatives, New Democrats, independents. People are interested in this party because it has a courage of conviction, which is unique in the political landscape in Canada. It's not something you see from what I call the focus groups masquerading as political parties. I say that because it's true. Who in this room could really raise their hand and say that they believe that a politician, when they are speaking to them through the medium of television, newspaper, radio, feels that they are speaking earnestly and from the heart and not with a carefully crafted message meant specifically to appeal to markets as dictated by focus groups? No genuine sort of information comes from our political elite today. That's what sets the PPC apart today. It is incredible to watch because that is what binds us together. Despite our varied political backgrounds, we are all here for the fact that we enjoy courage of conviction. No one else is speaking about equalization, corporate welfare, interprovincial trade barriers, the Paris Accord, Pierre Elliott Trudeau's supply management, wasteful foreign aid, getting the UN out of our domestic affairs, market-warping boutique tax credits, opening up healthcare options, and the list goes on. Nobody else is speaking about that with courage of conviction and true purpose. So, we're drawn to this courage of conviction, and so I give you the man who bears such courage and such conviction each and every day, the leader of the People's Party of Canada, a man who I'm incredibly privileged to know, and your next Prime Minister, Maxime Bernier. You're good.
Thank you. Thanks, Eden. My God, they told me that, oh, Maxime, maybe you will be 100 people or 150 tonight. And I think we have a problem. We have a nice problem. A lot of people are showing here, and they want to participate in that movement. And we are able to do that tonight because of people like Ethan, like Kelly, like all our people that are helping us to build the People's Party of Canada. And I want to thank you very much. Actually, as you know, we have a head office in Ottawa. Only 4 people work full-time over there. And, but it's not because of these people that we are building this riding association. It's because of you. And I want to thank you. And I received a call today. We did, and we have up to now, 249 riding association ready and up for helping us to find good candidates. So now, yes, that's a good news. And some people would be surprised, but we'll be able to have riding association in every riding in our country before the end of December, because we are a grassroots movement, and because we are listening to you. And I think people like the freedom ideas, and I like the freedom ideas also. You know, our program is based on what you believe and what I believe: freedom, individual freedom, personal responsibility, respect, and fairness. So it's, you know, we achieved a lot the last 10 weeks. I like to compare our movement with what the Reform Party did a couple of years ago. And what they did in 1 year, we're doing that in 1 week. Yes, we have the social media that are helping us. We are able to reach you and to speak to you. But also the difference is we are building this party with ideas. We have a platform, and I think people are coming because they like the platform and they like the authenticity of our platform. And we don't try to please everybody, as you know. We have strong convictions, and I think it is important if we want to have a freer, a safer, and a better country. We need to have bold ideas based on the right principles, and that's us. And I think you're telling me tonight that you appreciate what we are doing, and at the same time, you're giving me a lot of energy. I just want to let you know that I started these kind of rally in Vancouver, and we had 350 people there, and after that in Calgary, 400 people, in Toronto, more than 900, in Gatineau, Ottawa, 300, and here, thank you very much. And I will do that, and next week I'll be in Quebec, and after that in Atlantic Canada. We are campaigning right now. We need to be out there and to speak about what we believe. And I want you to be expert in our platform. I want you to know our policies. Don't hesitate to go on the website and to learn about our policies and speak to your friends, speak to your family. And the more people will understand our movement and our political party, they will know that when we are saying that it's a people's party and we want to put people first, they will understand that for us it is not a slogan, it is not a buzzword, it is the reality. So thank you very much. And I think that tonight you want to hear a little bit about our policies, and I'll tell you, you know, I want to speak, but I know maybe you're tired about that. I want to speak a little bit, just a little bit, about supply management. Maybe you know that it's a bad system, you know all that, but the most important, yeah, it is a bad system for Canadian consumers. But the most important, it's a litmus test. It's a big test for politicians. And why I like to speak about it? Because if you're a politician and you cannot resist the pressure coming from the dairy poultry cartel, how you be able to resist pressure coming from other special interest group, people who want a privilege from the government, people who want some less competition because they're not able to compete and they want another privilege, people who are asking for goodies and special privilege. You won't be able to resist. That's a big test. And with supply management, the Liberal, the Conservative, the NDP, the Green Party, everybody, they want and they are pleasing 13,000 dairy, poultry, and eggs producers at the expense of 37 million Canadians. So for me, if you want a real and a true democracy, you must be able to resist the pressure from the special interest group, but they're not. And that's very important. I like to speak about that because that's the big difference between us and the other parties. We won't try to please everybody. We have ideas, and we will speak about what we believe with passion and with conviction. So, speaking about pleasing everybody, we know that if we try to please everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one. So maybe if you speak with conviction, we won't have all the votes. And maybe that will be a cost at the end. But I prefer to maybe lose some votes, but at the end, telling Canadians what we think it's the best policy for our country. And I like in politics Margaret Thatcher. You know, she did a video. Yeah. Thank you. She, at that time, it was very popular to speak about consensus. And politicians try to have consensus. And she said that she didn't like that word consensus. She preferred conviction. And she said, she said that a politician must have conviction, and if you think that you have the right policies, and we think we have the right policies because they're based on more freedom and less government and a limited government, you must be out there and speak about that. And don't be afraid to explain your policies to your people. And that's a little bit what we are doing. We are speaking about our values. We are speaking about what we believe. And if I'm speaking to, I don't know, I was with the farmers in my riding in Beauce, and they asked me, Maxime, what do you want to do for the farmers? I said, I'll do the same thing with other entrepreneurs, because for me, you're an entrepreneur, and we have a platform that it's good for you. We want to abolish corporate welfare, and I think it's important. We want to abolish corporate welfare, and like that, we'll save around $5 billion a year, and we'll be able to lower your taxes. I think income flat tax of 10% for entrepreneurs, so that's part of our platform. But if you look at corporate welfare, what happened recently in Oshawa, that's a very nice example that corporate welfare, it is not working. So if you are a great entrepreneur and there's a well-managed and profitable corporation, you don't need any corporate welfare. But if it's a badly managed corporation, unprofitable, you should not receive help from the government.
Bombardier, yep.
Like Bombardier in Quebec. But you know, Bombardier, it's a great corporation, but people understand that it is not the solution. An economy does not become more productive when you give big subsidies like that to big corporations, but also to small corporations. We must be fair for everybody. So what happened now in Toronto, the bailout, when I was there as conservative, gave a lot of, I think it was $2.5 billion to GM. That bailout now is showing us that, you know, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money, and it's money that it's not money, government money, it's people's money. So that's why, you know, and right now the thing will help the industry, the automobile industry. Here out west, there's the oil and gas industry. I think you suffer a lot since 2014. Nobody bailed out the oil and gas industry. Nobody, you know, the politicians now in Ottawa, they want to give more insurance for the workers. And they're saying maybe we can add another 5 weeks for the workers in Oshawa. You didn't have that here in Saskatoon. So there's a program for everybody. So why giving another privilege for these people? It's sad that they are losing their job. But it's sad also what's happening here out west. And it is sad what the Trudeau government is doing right now. You know, they try to help different industry, but not the oil and gas industry. And that's an important industry in our country. So, but what is worse, that famous bill, the Bill C-69, it's a bill that asks for more environmental studies for building huge infrastructure projects. So that will hurt the energy sector, the forestry sector, and the private sector won't be able to build big infrastructure for the future of our country. So we must get rid of that bill. I voted against it. And we must get rid of that bill, and that will be the first step to help you guys and being sure that we have environmental project that will work and that the private sector will be able to do. And speaking about pipelines, you know, oh, Maxime is coming from Quebec, so Quebecers, they don't like pipelines. No, no, that's not true. That's not true. What is true is the Quebec politician at the provincial level, the elite Quebec politician, they are saying that they are against pipeline. But Quebecers, they know that it is safer to build a pipeline. It's safer than transporting oil and gas by train. Because they remember what happened in Lac Mégantic, the big tragedy over there 3 years ago. So they know that it's safer to transport oil and gas by pipeline for the population, but also for the environment. We're in 2018, so the private sector knows how to build a safe pipeline. So they have the technology to do it. So yes, the population in Quebec, they want safe pipelines. They want also buy their oil and gas from here in Canada. But the politicians at the provincial level, they prefer to listen to the radical environmentalists in Quebec. But I can tell you, when I'm speaking for pipelines in Quebec, I have a lot of support. And people in Montreal, they understand that. They know that if we build the pipeline that will go from Toronto to Eastern Canada, that will create jobs in Montreal and in Atlantic Canada. They understand that. So I will speak for pipeline. I will try to influence the government, and with our policies, we know what to do, create a better economic environment with great policies. And it's too bad that when we were in government, when I was a conservative at that time, we were not able to build a pipeline that will help the industry to sell their natural resources in other countries than US. So that must be a priority, and it is a priority for the People's Party of Canada. And when you speak about what you believe, you must not be afraid to tackle difficult political issues. So we need to do bold reform. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. And I want to speak about the famous equalization formula. So I have the courage to speak about it, but don't ask Andrew Scheer to speak about it, is too afraid to lose votes in Quebec or in Atlantic Canada. Justin Trudeau won't speak about it. But it is important. It is very important. That formula, it is unfair and inefficient. And unfair not only for provinces that are giving money in the formula, but provinces that are receiving money. It is unfair because, first of all, that's not the right incentive for them to develop their own natural resources. They don't have any incentive with that formula to develop their own natural resources because, like in Quebec, if you develop your shale gas, there's a lot of shale gas in Quebec, they will receive less equalization money. So I'm not proud, and I said that in French, in English, in Quebec, outside Quebec, 5 years ago. And I said that I'm not proud to be a Quebecer when we receive equalization money. The goal must be to receive zero equalization money because Quebec will be a rich province. So that must be the goal. And Quebecers understand that. So it is an unfair formula. And it is also unfair because the hydroelectricity, it is not part of the formula. But the energy coming from oil and gas, it is part of the formula. So we need to change that. We need to have a debate about it in Canada. And I'm the one who wants to open that debate with a real solution for the future of our country. But don't ask the traditional politician to speak about it, because first of all, they have to do focus group, and they have to do polling, and they will look, oh, maybe the population, they don't understand the formula, it's too complicated, so we won't speak about it. But our goal in politics, what we like to do, is to speak about things that are complicated. Because we are speaking to you, and we want to appeal to your intelligence. So when people are saying Bernier is a populist politician, I'm okay with that, but I prefer if they add a smart populist politician. Because I know that if we speak about something that is complicated, but a reform that we need to do, if we speak about it, you'll understand it. And my role is to explain our policies to the population. That's why we have a platform right now, and the platform is ready. That's the same platform that we'll have during the election. And we have less than a year to explain our platform to Canadians. And I'm very, very happy in that role. I like what I'm doing because we built that platform a long time ago. I was delivering speeches when I was conservative, when I was a minister, and after that about freedom ideas. And when I decided to fight for being the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, that was easy for us to have a platform. We just look at all the speeches that I deliver, and we put that together in a platform. That platform was very successful, and so what I did, as you know, we had 49% of the votes, and people liked it. I tried to influence the leadership of the Conservative Party of Canada after that, tried to ask them to use some of our ideas and put that in their platform for the next election. But they told me, oh, Maxime, bold ideas, and people are not ready for that, so we won't have anything in our platform for the next election. So my choice was to stay in politics and run for the Conservative under a platform that I don't believe in, or maybe leaving politics and going back in the private sector. But I like politics, and I like speaking about what we believe, or using the platform and building the People's Party of Canada. And I did not expect, I must be honest with you, I didn't expect that success. Because in the beginning, I said, and we said, if we have 10,000 members, that would be good. Because I knew that the Green Party, after 35 years, they have 19,000 members. So I said 10,000 after a month can be good. But you are there, and you were there. And after 3 weeks, 30,000 founding members. So I personally am very impressed, and I think right now we're at 33,000 founding members. And because of that, we are able to build a writing association. And because of our writing association, we'll be able to have candidates. And I count on you to help us to find good candidates in your community, in your writing. So that will be the next step. After having our writing association done, in January up to May, we will find candidates, we will work with you, and I can assure you that we will have a candidate in every riding in this country. So when I'm saying that, you know, this party, we don't believe in big fat government. We don't believe that we need a government to tell you what to do in your day-to-day life. Because we know that you know better than a bureaucrat in Ottawa or a politician in Ottawa what to do with your own money. We want to give you back your money. We want to shrink the government, not shrinking your paycheck. So that's a big difference with the Liberal. We want to shrink the government and give you more freedom and more of your own money in your pockets. But how we going to do that? We'll have a reform, because I must admit that Andrew is saying the same thing. He wants to lower your taxes. But when you ask what he will do and how he will do that, he's not ready, because he's too busy to do a focus group. But I'll tell you how we will do that. We'll have only 2 tax brackets. One at 15% for people earning more than $15,000, and one at 25% for people earning more than $100,000. And for the poor, we'll increase the personal exemption at $15,000. So that will be fair for everybody. But that will be a cost. That will be a cost for the federal government. At the same time, we want to balance the budget, and we're serious about that. We're not that like Justin Trudeau. We know that the budget cannot balance itself. So we know that we must do big reform for that. And we'll do it. We can save a lot of money, starting by maybe privatization of Canada Post. You know, all the European countries did that long time ago. You know, Canada Post, they have a monopoly on letters. So, you know, I don't like to go in Parliament and vote for a special law for them not to be in strike. I prefer that for you to have freedom to choose with another corporation that you can have a good service. But because they have the monopoly, they have a monopoly on letters, you cannot do that. So that's why we needed a special law for that. But the best solution and the only solution, it is the privatization. So that's a reform that we can do, and we can save money. The other reform, the CRTC and telecom, I think we have a regulator in the telecom industry. In the, I don't know, mining industry, we don't have a regulator only for the mining industry. So the best regulator, it's the free market. We need to abolish the CRTC in telecom. You know, I must admit also that yesterday I was in Winnipeg, and the CBC, they were there. No, don't say that. Don't say that, because I was surprised. I had a very good coverage from the CBC yesterday. A fair coverage. And, but you know that? We still need to do a reform there. Maybe that was the exception, the coverage yesterday. But we need to do a reform, and as you know, we have a very strong reform. We want the CBC. If they're so good, they will be able to have money from their viewers like PBS in the state. Yeah. So we can save, as you know, the government gives to CBC 1.2 or 1.3, I don't remember, $billion a year. So we can cut that and having a transition toward a PBS model. So that it would be fair for the other broadcaster also. It is not fair that the government is giving money to the CBC, and at the same time, the money, the CBC, they are doing advertising, but CTV and other private broadcasters, they don't receive money from the government, but they have to compete for the advertising money, so it is unfair. It is unfair also for the newspaper. You know that the Trudeau government will give $600 million to the media. It's a shame. It's a shame. We want the media to be independent. What the Trudeau government, what they want the media to be dependent from the government. So that's a bad decision. But the best way to help them and to be fair, as you know, fairness, it's important for us. The best way to be fair, cut the CBC. And the CBC right now, they have journalists online that compete against the newspaper, paying by you and by the state. So if you cut the CBC, that the competition will be fair with the other newspaper. So that solution, it's a great solution. But my friend Andrew Scheer was in Quebec, I think last week, and he was at a radio station. And the guy asked him a question about the CBC. And for me, the answer is very, very evident. And we must cut the CBC and transform the CBC. But he was not able to answer. He didn't want to answer that because speaking about the CBC, maybe you have bad media and maybe the mainstream media won't like it. So he didn't answer the question, and he didn't answer the question on other issues also because, you know, they are too controversial. But for us, there's no controversial issues when you speak about real reform that are based on real principle. So we must explain that to the population, and that's what we are doing, and I count on you to help me to do that. So we can save with the CBC, we can save by the privatization of Post Canada, but also foreign aid. Foreign aid. So I just, you know, Canadians are generous. And yes, Canada, our country, must be there when there's a natural disaster somewhere, when there's a humanitarian crisis somewhere. That's okay, we must be there. But, you know, it is not our role to fund the UN PEPS project. So this is a dysfunctional organization, and we want to save... We want to save money and help Canadians first. So the Trudeau government, for example, they're giving $2.2 billion to other countries to help them to fight climate change. So we can save that. They're giving also money to help to build roads in Africa. That's not our role. So we must not. But you know why the Trudeau government is doing that? One word, pandering. Pandering to the UN for being sure to be elected on the Security Council, UN Security Council. So the Trudeau government use our money, your money, to be sure to have a seat over there and being with all the UN organization, and that's a huge cost, and we cannot afford that. When they're doing deficit by $20 billion a year, we cannot afford that. And we're supposed to have very small deficit for 4 years, and now you know what's happening. We have huge deficit, and we don't know when the budget will be balanced. So let's cut there, but the Conservative and the NDP, they don't want to speak about that. And I think it's very important to work for our people first. And it's not normal that you cannot have clear running water in a reserve. We must help our people first. And so another reform that is important, we believe in a sustainable immigration system. We believe in legal immigration. We don't believe in illegal immigration. We don't like what's happening in Quebec right now. People who are crossing our border, they're not real refugees. I don't believe that if you are coming from the state of New York, that your life is in danger. So I don't believe that. But I'm not. But I'm not the only one. You know, I don't like civil servant. I don't like big government. But the immigration department, I think they're right on that. They're right. They said that at least 40% of them will have to go back in 3 years from now. They will have to go back in their country because they're not real refugees. So we must fix that problem. We must sit down with President Trump and fix that loophole. So that's very important for the integrity of our immigration system. So that's a huge commitment for us. But also, this country has been built by immigrants. And we know that, and we want our country to be like that 20 years from now. I don't want us to have the challenges that they're having in Europe, in certain European countries over there, with their integration of their immigrants. So that's why we want to just make a pause and going back under the upper government, what we did at that time, we had at that time around 250,000 immigrants a year. And I think that must be the number. And yes, we need more economic immigrants that will be in line with the need of our country. But and actually, it's a debate that it's time to have in Canada. I think we're a little bit late in English Canada about that, because in Quebec, they had that debate at the provincial level. And the government that is the government right now, la Coalition Avenir Québec, avec Monsieur Legault, with Legault, that is the Prime Minister, said during the campaign that instead of, for Quebec, having 50,000 immigrants a year, he said, I want to have only 40,000 immigrants a year. And all the journalists during the campaign in Quebec, oh my God, you know, he won't be able to be elected, and Quebecers won't like that. But now they form the government, and we can have a good debate, an honest debate on that. And I think it is time to have that debate. And I'm having that debate. But because right now the debate that we're having, it's always more, and more. The Trudeau government, 310,000 new immigrants a year. They want to increase that in 2 years in 350,000 a year. And they receive a report, the Barton report. That report asks for 450,000 a year. And so Andrew Scheer, the same thing, a little bit more. So let's have this debate, and I'm proud to engage that debate because I like our society. I'm proud to be Canadian, and I like... And I want them to come here to share our Canadian values, to learn about our history, to learn about our culture, and like they did in the past. You know, we have a great immigration system. The last 40 years, people were coming here to have more freedom, to live in a country that believes in the rule of law, and that must be the same thing. So that's why we need to have this debate, and we'll have this debate. I'm not scared about it. and it's time to open our eyes and being sure that our country will be like that in 20 years, 25 years from now. It's great. People are coming here for the right reason. And let's just have that pause and being sure that everything's going well in this country. And if we need more after that, we'll be there. And the private sector, the economy, will tell us how much people can come and having a job. I prefer them to come here and having a job. You know, it's easier. It is easier for them to integrate our society when they have a job. So, and it is better for our society also at the end. So that's why I think it's important to have this debate. And speaking about policies and debate, there's a lot of others ideas that we have in our platform, but it's all in line with our principle. And we need to speak about the First Nation. We need to speak about our relationship with the First Nation. It is a shame, our relationship right now. It's a kind of an apartheid system. We want everybody to be equal, having the same rights, and the most important, is to give them the possibility to be prosperous. The way to do that is to, that's our idea, and we will come a little bit later because the policy is not ready right now. We will come with a policy on our First Nation based on our principle, based on property rights on reserve. That will be important. And again, we'll be the only political party to speak about it. That's why we are in politics, for having a better country and fix what must be fixed. So there's a lot of other subjects, but I just want to let you know that we are able to do that because of you, but I'm asking you tonight to read our platform, go on our website. If you have any question, email us at the head office People's Party. You know, I want you to be able to debate and explain our policy. I cannot do that alone. I cannot do that alone. And up to now, I can tell you that I'm very proud. I'm very proud. It is my best day in politics. I'm very happy of what I'm doing. Yes, it's a lot of work, but when you like what you're doing, it's not working. And when I see people like you coming from different regions, I think there's people from Regina and from all over the province here tonight, and that, you know, we didn't have to call you and say, please, can you come? We want to have a lot of people here. And no, you decided you wanted to come because you want to learn a little bit about our ideas and you want to participate in our movement. And we are making history. In the beginning, I said I'll do my best and we'll try, yes, to have 338 candidates all across the country, and we'll see what will happen. But now I believe that we'll be able, and yes, we'll be able to have 338 candidates. And I'll be able also during the official electoral campaign to be there and to have a debate with other leaders. So that will be, I think, interesting for Canadians. You know, in a debate, usually, every politician, they have their lines and they know what to say. They're doing focus group. And for us, you know, they will ask a question and I will answer the question. And I will ask the question and I will speak to Canadians and I will do the debate with passion, with conviction, and at the end, I think that we'll be able to be a big surprise, and will be a big surprise. But I want to address one big question coming from my former friends, Conservative MP, but they're okay, you know, and maybe, you know, some people that they want to be sure that Justin Trudeau won't be Prime Minister in a year from now. Yeah. And I share their goal. I want the same. But they're saying to you and to me, we like Maxime, he's a good guy, we like his policies, we like, he has the courage to speak about the reform that need to be done in this country. But, we need to beat Justin Trudeau. And, I cannot support him right now. So the answer to that, it's let's look at the reality. Let's look at the facts. So the facts are, so despite Trudeau's disastrous record, despite the Indian trip, despite the huge deficit, despite the attack on the small businesses, despite the future carbon tax, despite the illegal migrants crisis, despite all of that, Justin Trudeau is still ahead in the poll. So, yeah, we must be ahead in the poll. So, but Andrew Scheer is not able right now, if you look at this poll, to beat Justin Trudeau. So, what I'm looking at, for the last year and a half, since Andrew Scheer is the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, every poll is always behind Justin Trudeau by 6 or 8 points. Just look at it. Google it. You'll see it. So Maxime Bernier was with Justin... No. I will never be with Justin Trudeau. Maxime Bernier was with Andrew Scheer. It's because for me, that's the same. So Maxime Bernier was with Andrew Scheer, and at that time, Andrew Scheer was not winning. Maxime Bernier is not with Andrew Scheer, and Andrew Scheer is not winning. So they're not winning right now. We have the momentum. We have the ideas. We know what needs to be done for this country. So when what I'm telling them, come with us. Come with us, and together, we will be able to beat Justin Trudeau. But people say, oh, Maxime, you're far behind the poll. Yes, when we started the party, I was at 1% in the poll. After that, 2%. Now we're at 4%. After 8 weeks. We'll grow, and we are growing. And I want to give you an example. I was speaking with our members for lunchtime and said, Maxime, you must speak about that and explain to our people and the population that you were in that situation before, being behind and growing. So yes, when I started the leadership campaign for the Conservative Party of Canada, I was not supposed to win. I didn't win, but I was not supposed to win, and I was not a good candidate, and I was at 4% when we started. A year, 13 months after that, we finished at 49%. We were able to start from 4% to 49%. Imagine if we are at 4% right now. I don't think that we'll be at 49%, but if we are at 20, 25, 30%, we can win. We just have to stick to our ideas and not try to please everybody. We will be able to win, and that's my answer to people who are saying, Maxime, we want to get rid of Justin Trudeau, but there's no but. For once, vote for for your values. For once, vote for your values, for what you believe in, and will be successful with that. And I want to give you another example. My friend, Andrew, he's a nice guy, but he doesn't write. Great smile. Yeah, thank you. He did an interview. He did an interview 2 weeks ago with Sun Media. And for me, that interview was very important. because he said that, you know, and I want to quote him. He said that the Liberals have moved so far to the left that, and I quote, we, the Conservative Party, we have an opportunity to say that we are a pragmatic, centrist party with room for lots of different views on lots of different issues. So just listen to that. Pragmatic, centrist, lots of different views. So for me, the translation is no principle, pandering to everybody. Whatever you want, he will give it to you. No current vision for our country. So, you know, Andrew Scheer or Justin Trudeau, that's about the same. It's the same on a lot of policies. I didn't have time to speak about climate change. You know, Justin Trudeau signed the Paris Accord. Andrew Scheer whipped a vote on the Paris Accord. And I'm against the Paris Accord. I didn't vote for the Paris Accord. Justin Trudeau will impose a carbon tax and is lying to Canadians because he said we will be able with that to achieve our goal, the goal in the Paris Accord, with the reduction of our CO2 emission. And every expert, and the UN said yesterday that they won't be able to achieve their goal. So why being like that, being hypocrites with the population? Andrew Scheer said, we have a plan, and it will come. They're still doing focus groups, so that they will have a plan. I believe that. They will have a plan to achieve the Paris Accord goals. So for us, we won't have a plan because we don't believe in the Paris Accord. But yes, we believe in climate change. Yes, we believe in climate change. But environment, it's a shared jurisdiction. And I want to use the carbon tax. Trudeau will impose a carbon tax, but he won't impose a carbon tax in Quebec because Quebec, they have a cap and trade system. So environment, it's a shared jurisdiction. Provinces, if they want to have regulations or taxes to fight climate change, that's okay with me. They can do it. But we won't add a new tax. We won't add new regulation at the federal level to fight climate change. Provinces, they will be free to do what they want. We know that the solution to climate change will come by new technology. And actually, it's only the private sector that can find new technologies answering the need of their consumers. So it is not a bureaucrat or a politician in Ottawa who invited the electric car. And the new invention won't come from the government, won't come from a civil servant. It will come from you because you will ask the private sector to give you products that are in line with the environment. And they will want to sell you goods and services. And if they want to be successful, that's the capitalist system. They will try to sell you what you want. The best example, GM. GM said, we are closing what's happening in Oshawa because people want electric cars and we need to build more electric cars. So they want to answer the need of consumers. Yeah, that's bad that they will leave Oshawa after receiving a $2.something billion. It is a bad news. It is a bad news for the economy over there. It is a bad news for the workers over there. But they said, you know, we want to build more electric cars and we'll do that in a jurisdiction when we can be competitive. So, and we know that in Ontario, because of the former government, the electricity cost, the energy cost, it's very huge, plus the carbon tax. So I can, as an economist, understand their position. But, you know, it's a bad decision. I understand that for the economy. But what I want to say, it's we don't have to impose new regulation. You don't have to pay for something that we cannot achieve. And we cannot achieve the Paris Accord goals. We cannot achieve that. If we want to achieve it, and the Trudeau government, they know it, they have to impose a carbon tax of $500 a ton instead of $20 a ton. But they don't want to do that because that will be a disaster for the economy. But I can tell you that $20 a ton, it will hurt the economy also. So that's our position on climate change. And that's why that now, Mr. Scheer, the NDP are so far left that they're not in the political spectrum anymore. And the liberals are the new left. So the conservative, they want to be, like he said, a pragmatic, centrist party. We're not a pragmatic party. Sorry about that. We are a party with convictions. That's the big difference. And so we are the real and the only free market, small c conservative party. And that's why we will be able to have a lot of support. But not only for people coming from the conservative movement, also people coming from the NDP. Yeah, I had a phone conversation with our executive in Newfoundland. They did a board over there, and I called them and I thanked them. And the president of the executive of the EDAs over there told me, Maxime, I'm very proud to be with you. I voted NDP last time. I voted NDP the other time. I said, oh my God. Did you read our program? So what are you doing there? Do you know what I believe in? You know, he said, yes, yes, Maxime, I understand everything. But I'm with you because for me there's two very important policies. And that's ending corporate welfare, because I know it is unfair for the small business that they have to pay tax and give that to big corporation, and ending the cartel of supply management. It is unfair for Canadian families that are paying twice the price for dairy, poultry, and eggs. For me, these two policies are so important that I want to help you to win. And I know when you will win, you will do what you said that you will do. You will do what you said. What is the expression? You will do what you were saying. Yeah. So yes, I will do that. What you see, it's what you have. And yes, I will do it. So we have people coming from different backgrounds. And we have liberals that are coming with us. People who voted liberals under Jean Chrétien and Paul Martin. Because Jean Chrétien balanced the budget and lowered taxes. They don't see themselves in the Liberals Party of Canada right now with this huge deficit, irresponsible deficit. And also, there's 30% of the population, and we must speak to them, 30% of the population that didn't vote at the last election. So imagine if we can have half of them, we'll be at 15% right now. So we need to speak to these people. These people didn't vote because they don't believe in politicians anymore. And I think we're doing politics differently. Maybe you don't like. Maybe you don't like what we are saying, but at least, you know, we're saying what we believe must be said, and we believe that the reform that we must have in this country. So I think these people who didn't believe in politicians anymore, they can come on our side. So we have a huge potential there. And together, I think we'll be able to surprise a lot of people. Actually, you surprise me. You surprise me with all these people across the country that are building this party with us. And I just want to end saying that thank you very much, because no, I want to thank you. What we're doing, it's great. It's great. And you can count on me. You can count on me, and I want to count on you, because, you know, we have faith in people. We have faith in you. We have faith that you have the right to and the ability to do what you want to do in life. And if we have a smaller government in Ottawa that will give you more freedom, we'll have a prosperous country. We'll have a country that is fair for everybody, that have policies that are fair for everybody. And you are helping us to build that better Canada. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Maxime Bernier, our next Prime Minister. Quick housekeeping notes.